There are so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. Have you ever wondered what a manager really does all day? Sometimes it just looks like a whirlwind of meetings and emails, right? But underneath all that, there's a powerful framework, a core cycle of responsibilities that really separates great leadership from just, being the boss. And today, we're going to break that down. All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with this special lens that managers use to see their organization. Then we'll dive into the 3 big steps they take: setting goals, running daily operations, and measuring the results. We'll also uncover the single activity that fuels this whole engine, and then we'll put it all together to see how it works as one powerful, continuous loop. Okay, first things first. To really get what managers are doing, you've got to see the world the way they do. And the special lens they use to get a clear picture of everything is called management accounting. Now, the most important thing to get here is that this is not the kind of accounting your tax person does. Not at all. This is purely for internal use. Think of it like a custom-built intelligence service just for managers. It creates these specific reports to answer crucial questions like, hey, which of our products is actually making us the most money? Or are we spending way too much on our latest marketing campaign? It's all about getting the right data to make the right call right now. So that internal data system is the bedrock for the very first core responsibility: planning. You wouldn't start a huge road trip without a map, would you? Of course not. And for a manager, that map is a solid, well-thought-out plan. It all starts with knowing exactly where you want to end up. This is the strategic part of the job, the part where you're looking forward, gazing out at the horizon. It's where you answer those huge questions. Where do we want this company to be in a year? What new things should we create? What new markets should we try to break into? It's really about charting the entire course before the ship even leaves the port. And this shows that planning isn't just wishful thinking. No, it's a real structured process. For example, a manager's goal might be, let's increase our market share by 5%. Great, so how do you do that? Well, you quantify your options. You could launch a social media campaign for, say, $50,000 that might reach 1 million people, or you could spend $100,000 on R&D for a new product feature that could attract a whole new group of customers. You analyze both, recommend the best path, and then, critically, you translate it all into a formal budget. And that budget, well, that's the ultimate reality check. It forces you to put a price tag next to every single ambition. It makes you answer the tough question. This is a great idea, but can we actually afford to do it? This step is what makes sure a brilliant idea is also a viable one before you spend a single penny. Okay, so the plan is set and the budget is locked in. The manager's focus now has to shift from the future to the right here, right now. How do you actually put that grand plan into motion day by day? Well, that brings us to the art of directing. This is where the rubber meets the road. I love this analogy. If planning is like designing a car and building the engine, directing is getting behind the wheel, turning the key, and actually driving it. It's the hands-on daily grind of managing your people, guiding your teams, and, navigating all those unexpected bumps in the road. And managers have a whole dashboard of tools for this. Let's take a retail manager, for instance. They're not just standing around the store. They're on a tablet looking at a live sales report. They see, whoa, the blue sweaters are flying off the shelves, but the red ones aren't moving at all. That data immediately empowers a directing decision. They can get on the phone right then and say, hey, warehouse, send more blue sweaters to the main store, ASAP, and let's run a 20% flash sale on the red ones to get them moving. That's directing in action, all based on real-time info. Okay, so the plan is in motion, and the team is working hard. But how do we know if we're actually getting anywhere? Are we winning the game? That brings us to our third core responsibility: controlling. This is all about checking the scoreboard. You can think of controlling as the essential feedback loop. It's the point where you take the original plan, the budget, the sales targets, all of it, and you hold it up right next to what actually happened. It's about accountability. Did we hit our numbers? And if we didn't, why not? Now, this is really cool because it shows how planning and controlling are really just 2 sides of the same coin. You literally can't have one without the other. Planning sets the target, controlling tells you if you hit it. Planning is looking forward through the windshield, asking, what should we do? Controlling is checking the rearview mirror to ask, so, how did we do? You need both to get where you're going. So, we've got planning, directing, and controlling. 3 big activities. But what's the one thing that connects them all? What is the single function that acts as the engine for this entire process? I mean, think about it. When you're in the planning phase, what are you doing? When you're directing your team, what's happening? When you're controlling and looking at the results, what are you doing? At every single one of these stages, there's one critical activity happening at the core. Yup, you got it. Decision making. Every single step we've talked about boils down to making a choice. Which goals should we chase? That's a decision. How do we split up the budget? That's a decision. How do we react to that sudden dip in sales? Another decision. This is the engine that drives absolutely everything. And this brings us right back to where we started. This is why management accounting is so incredibly important. Its entire purpose is to provide the raw material, the data on costs, on revenue, on performance, so that managers can make intelligent, informed decisions instead of just guessing. So now that we have all the pieces of the puzzle, let's put them together. Let's see how these responsibilities aren't just a list, but how they connect to form a powerful, continuous cycle that never stops. So it all starts with planning. This is where the manager sets the course, defines the goals for the next quarter or year, and assigns the resources by creating a budget. Next, that plan gets put into action through directing. The manager leads the team, solves problems as they come up, and handles all the day-to-day work. And then comes controlling. This is where they step back and measure the results. They look at the performance reports and compare what actually happened with what they planned to happen. And here it is. This is the most crucial part of the whole thing. The cycle repeats. The results you get from the controlling phase, that how did we do feedback, it doesn't just get filed away. That data becomes the direct input for the next planning phase. So if you missed your sales target, that fact forces you to ask why, and it helps you create a newer, smarter plan. This creates a powerful cycle of continuous improvement, and it's all fueled by informed decision-making at every single turn. So as we wrap up, let me just leave you with this final thought. This cycle is absolutely brilliant for creating stability and for constantly improving, but where does radical, game-changing innovation fit in? If you're always optimizing the existing plan, how do you make space to just throw the plan out and try something completely new? It's a framework for consistency for sure, but it also has to be a launchpad for change. It's something to think about.